The arena fell silent as the iron gate groaned open. Lena Frost stood in the center of the pit, her blonde hair matted with sweat and dirt, her breathing steady despite the terror that should have consumed her. Around her, thousands of Zorkathi spectators leaned forward in their seats, their chitinous faces gleaming under the artificial suns that illuminated the Colosseum. This was her punishment. This was how the Zorkathi Empire dealt with human prisoners who dared to resist, feed them to Korvac, the legendary beast from the ice moons of Thorax's prime. The creature had never lost. It had torn apart warriors 3 times Lena's size, crushed battle-hardened soldiers in its jaws, and reduced the bravest champions to nothing but screams and blood. Lena had watched 2 executions before her own. She had studied Korvac's movements, his patterns, the way his massive shoulders rolled beneath midnight black fur, the intelligence that flickered behind those amber eyes. The Zorkathi called him a beast, a monster, a weapon of terror. But Lena had seen something else. The second gate opened. Korvac emerged from the darkness, and the crowd erupted. He stood nearly 12 feet tall on all fours, his body a mass of corded muscle and savage power. Fangs as long as daggers jutted from his maw, and his claws carved furrows in the stone floor with each step. Spikes of bone protruded from his spine, and his tail, thick as a tree trunk, swayed behind him like a club. The Zorkathi chanted for blood. They wanted a show. They wanted to see the fragile human girl torn apart, to watch her beg and scream and die. Lena didn't run. Instead, she did something that had never been done in this arena before. She sat down, crossed her legs, and waited. Korvac's advance slowed, his massive head tilted, amber eyes narrowing with confusion. The crowd's roar faltered into murmurs of uncertainty. What was the human doing? Had fear broken her mind? Lena kept her gaze fixed on Korvac, not with defiance, but with something the beast had never encountered in this place: calm recognition. She had spent 3 months in the Zorkathi prison ship, and in that time, she had learned their language, studied their culture, and discovered something crucial about Korvac. He wasn't from this world. He wasn't bred for battle. The files she had glimpsed during her brief escape attempt told a different story. Korvac had been taken from his home, from his pack, stolen as a cub and trained through starvation and pain to kill on command, just like her. Korvac circled closer, his growl rumbling through the arena like distant thunder. Lena could smell the blood on his breath, could see the scars that crisscrossed his body, evidence of years in chains. The Zorkathi had stripped away everything that made him what he truly was, twisted him into their instrument of execution, but they had made a mistake. They assumed that brutality could erase nature. They believed that suffering could destroy the soul. Humans knew better. When Korvac was 10 feet away, Lena began to hum. It was a simple melody, something her mother had sung to her during the colony wars. During the nights when plasma fire lit the sky and death seemed certain. A lullaby of earth, of green forests and open plains, of a world that understood the bond between human and beast. Korvac froze. His ears, torn and ragged, flicked forward. The growl died in his throat. For the first time in 7 years, he heard something that wasn't a command, wasn't a threat, wasn't the screaming of his victims or the jeering of his captors. Lena continued humming, and slowly, carefully, she extended her hand palm down, fingers relaxed. She didn't reach toward him. She simply offered. The crowd's confusion turned to agitation. The Zorkathi governor rose from his seat, mandibles clicking in displeasure. "Why does the beast hesitate?" he demanded. "Release the pain stimulators." But the arena master's claws hovered over the controls, frozen by what he was witnessing. Korvac lowered his massive head. His nostrils flared as he caught Lena's scent. Not the scent of fear, but something else. Recognition, kinship, the scent of another prisoner, another soul caged and broken and forced to become something they were never meant to be. His tongue, rough as stone, touched her palm. The crowd gasped. Lena's fingers moved slowly, scratching beneath Korvac's jaw, where the collar had rubbed his fur away, where the neural implants had burrowed into his flesh. She found the spots that hurt, the places where the Zorkathi's cruelty had left its deepest marks, and she soothed them. Korvac's eyes closed. A sound emerged from his chest. Not a growl, but something softer. Something that might have been a whimper, or perhaps the echo of contentment from a life long forgotten. "Impossible!" the governor shrieked. "Activate the pain protocols. Make the beast kill." The arena master's claws slammed down on the controls. Electricity surged through the implants in Korvac's spine. His body convulsed, and a roar of agony split the air. The crowd cheered, sensing blood at last. Korvac's eyes snapped open, wild with pain and rage, his jaws opening wide as he lunged toward Lena. She didn't flinch. She stood, placed both hands on either side of his massive head, and looked directly into his eyes. "I know," she whispered. "I know it hurts. But you're more than what they made you. We both are." For a heartbeat, nothing moved. The universe held its breath. Then Korvac turned. His roar shook the arena. But it wasn't directed at Lena. It was directed at the Zorkathi, at the governor, at every being who had inflicted suffering and called it justice. He charged toward the arena wall, and Lena ran with him, her hand gripping the fur at his shoulder. Together, prisoner and beast crashed into the reinforced barrier. Once, twice. The shields flickered and failed. On the third impact, the wall shattered. Chaos erupted as Korvac burst into the stands, Lena still holding on, both of them moving as one toward freedom. The Zorkathi scattered, their screams replacing the cheers that had filled the arena moments before. By the time the guards organized a response, Lena and Korvac had vanished into the Undercity, two souls refusing to be broken, proving what humans had always known, that compassion was stronger than cruelty, that understanding could bridge any divide, and that no cage, no matter how strong, could hold a spirit determined to be free. The galaxy would remember this day, the day a human girl and an alien wolf taught an empire that some bonds transcend species, and that humanity's greatest strength wasn't violence or technology. It was the ability to see the person, the soul, beneath the monster.